Hello. Okay, so this is our first official stream since Evo, which is cool. I'm excited to get back. Evo was a blast, but now it's all about Stonehearth. So, last day, I think we called that yesterday, um, I was working on a clock. So what I've been doing, yeah, let me just tell you what we've been doing. So Stephanie's been working on sound, which is nice. Um, it's nice to have sound in the game. We kind of need that. Tony has been working on some refactoring on the building system, so it'll be a lot easier for us to make changes to it later. Hi guys, everyone is saying hi. Hi. Uh, and I have been working on time of day, so getting like an actual clock in the game. And it's just the start of it, but eventually this will turn into day-night cycles, seasons, all that stuff. So I'm just starting it right now, which is fun for me because this is the first time I'm touching the code. So I get to do more than just art. So yesterday I did a flash stream where we together worked on the first implementation of time, and I worked on a clock. And it was like, it looked like a meter, and it was kind of ugly. I wasn't really happy with it. I think you could tell if you watched the stream. What, you got a commercial? Zen, there are no ads on this stream. You shouldn't have a commercial. Well, sorry. You'll come back and you won't know what's going on. So I dumped the meter. I thought about it some more, and a couple of you guys had the same idea about... Really? Can you hear me breathing into the mic? I'll get a new mic. I'm sorry. I'll get a real podcasting mic, but for now you have to put up with me. Here, I'll try moving the headset a little bit. Okay. So this is the clock that I came up with, and a lot of you guys had a similar idea, and I couldn't figure out a way to make it work with squares, but I thought about it some more, and I did. So the idea is that you have this. I hope you can see my cursor. You've got like this sort of sundial type thing that displays like the sky, right? And this is nighttime, kind of. And then you'll have this little sun icon and this moon icon that orbit around the thing. And then, it'll update like a calendar. So I chose like a Mario sun, put some eyeballs on it. And these are like the different phases of the moon, so you'll be able to track sort of where you are in the monthly cycle and stuff like that. Right, and I've been working this morning on getting the thing like sort of mocked up. Right, so here it is. Here, let's see if I can zoom this without killing it. Yeah, so this is the thing just running in Chrome, right? Just a whole bunch of JavaScript and jQuery to get those little guys rotating around, and I just do an alpha fade on the sky. And you can see like I want the sun to like go to sleep. Yeah, there he goes. He goes to sleep. This is maybe like 50% done. I want to have like a dawn sky and a dusk sky, so 4 skies that it'll cycle through. And then I need a display for the calendar date. And the moon is pretty plain. I want to make the moon a little more slick. Make it round? No, not round. No, squares. Squares, man. Think squares when you think Stonehearth. So this is the clock mocked up in HTML, and I just did this because it was just faster. I'm in the browser. I don't have to run the game and restart it. And if I'm lucky, I can start this in the game. Yeah. Okay, there. Yeah, and here it is running in the game. And it's kind of chunky. I have to smooth out the animation, and you can see like from this clock. Oh, can you see this? I hope you can. Hold on. Let me. Oh man, hold on. I got like all kinds of windows up, and I want to make sure you can see it. All right, go away. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so the animation's clunky. I have to smooth out the animation, and time is moving like super fast because I just sped up time. Just so I wouldn't have to wait 5 minutes to watch them go around the square. And you can see that like when it gets to be morning at 6 a.m., the sky is going to start to slowly change, right? So yay, it works in the game. And I was able to port HTML that ran in the browser to HTML running in the game pretty darn quickly. Yeah, and someone's noticing that there are cloud shadows in our little test world here. Okay, so now let me show you what I've got going for sleeping. I'm going to show you the code. No. Here, I'll just show you. and then I'll show you the code. So this is a guy, right? And this is one of our test worlds. And oh, he fell asleep. Why did he fall asleep? I've coded this guy to, this is the very beginning of the sleep system. Now he's up. To fall asleep and wake up every hour, right? So at noon here, oh, he fell asleep, right? How long are the days? I don't know. We have to tune it. It's very easy to tune. I'll show you me changing the length of the day. Just off the top of my head, I think maybe like a day should be 10 minutes of real time, something like that. But we're going to stick with a 24-hour clock, just, you know, to make it easy. And the cool thing about this is with our behavior system, the AI actually works. So like if he's asleep and I say, go chop down this tree, like nothing happens because he's asleep and he'd rather sleep than chop down the tree. Now, when he wakes up, he automatically goes and starts chopping, right? And now watch, like he's narcoleptic, right? So pretty soon, he fell asleep, right? So the sleep behavior said, hey, it's time to go to sleep, and it took priority, and he automatically went to sleep. And then he wakes up and he remembers, oh yeah, I was supposed to chop down this tree, and he goes back to that, right? So this is like the AI at work, right? So our goal is, first I'll show you how it works in code, just briefly, and then our goal is to make this like a little bit more, he's up, he's down, a little bit more real, like give him a better sleeping animation. He should lie down when he goes to sleep, and give him some transition so he's not popping in and out of this, I'm awake, I'm asleep, but he should transition down and up. Okay, so let's shut down the game, and let me show you a little bit of code. Okay, so as make him rub his eyes, yeah, right, something like that. So you guys who were watching yesterday, or if you watched the archive, you know that what I'm writing here is just a mod. It's literally a Stonehearth mod, the same kind of mods that you guys are going to be able to write, except mine just happens to be installed when the game starts automatically for everybody. All Stonehearth functionality is written as mods. And this mod is called Stonehearth Calendar. Okay, so the Stonehearth Calendar mod basically keeps track of time, and if you want to know more about this, look at the archive yesterday. But all you really need to know is that this thing spits out 2 events so far. It spits out an event every time a minute passes and every time an hour passes in game time. And I call those events calendar.minutely and calendar.hourly. It'll spit out more events like daily, monthly, weekly, so I decided to keep it consistent and go minutely. Okay, so that's this mod. Now there's so how does the AI work? Well, there's another piece of Lua which implements the sleep action. Okay, and the sleep action is a consumer of that calendar mod. Okay, and this is the whole AI for sleeping right now. It's pretty basic, but we have a comment every hour the character grows more sleepy, whatever. That's not what it actually does. That's what it should do, but that's not what it does. What it does is it toggles sleep on and off. Okay, so wow, how much detail should I get in here? I'm going to skip over a little bit of this stuff. If you like pause the video later, you can probably figure out how this whole thing works. But basically, this sleep action, this init function is kind of like the constructor. So it basically listens on this hourly event from the calendar. Okay, so every time the hourly event fires from the calendar mod, this function is going to get called. Okay, and this function, spits out some stuff to the log, and then it basically toggles sleepiness between 100 and 0, and that's the priority of the sleepiness action, which it sets here, right? So it says, hey, go to your AI component and set the action priority of me, and I'm the sleep action, to the sleepiness variable, which will toggle between 0 and 100 every hour, because that's every hour this function will get called. Okay, and then so when this guy says, hey, my priority is 100, 100 is high enough to top the charts, and so the AI system, okay, sleepy action, you win. You are going to run yourself. So in this run method determines what that does, and that just executes this effect, which is sleep, and that plays an animation, a sleep animation. Okay, and that's what causes them to pop out. And then an hour later, this function will get called. Sleepiness priority goes down to 0. He says, okay, my priority is 0, and then some other action like chopping down a tree will get priority. and it'll like put them into the chopping mode and all that stuff. So that's how the AI priority system works in a nutshell. Yeah. So you can see, like, without a lot of code, you can sort of manipulate guys. And I didn't need to change like the implementation of chop and all that stuff when I inserted sleep, which is nice. Okay, so now let's take a look at this animation and let's fix it, because right now it's super boring. I'm juggling a lot of windows, which is exciting. So this is the sleep animation as it is now. So it's like, right, whatever. He's sawing logs. Yeah, all that was Lua that I showed. It was all Lua. Okay, so let's do something better than this. First, let me save this as sleeping while standing, in case we actually want that. Maybe like we might want it, so I don't want to just nuke this. So we'll open up sleeping. Okay, now sleep is for the weak. Okay, so let's figure out like what this guy should be like when he's sleeping. So this is the full-on sleep animation, not the transitioning to sleep animation. So I mean, let's make him just like go flat on his back or something. Whoops, that was wrong. Let me go auto key first. Okay, so now that I'm in keyframe mode, take a look at this, nuke all these frames, and then we're going to put him on his back. And now you guys get to watch me animate for, I don't know how long, however long it takes. Okay. So I don't know if like flat on his back is the right thing to do, but we're just going to give it a shot. It's probably not the right thing to do. Right, so oh yeah, so like this is gonna take a while to get done, right? And I'm doing it in stages. So eventually, when these guys want to sleep, they should like find a suitable place to sleep, like a bed or a cot, and sleep there. We're not there yet. So for now, we're just going to implement like a better sleep, which is actually animate correctly and lie down on the ground when you go to sleep, or lie down on something when you go to sleep. And then once we have that, the next step is to enhance the AI to go look for a better place to sleep, like a bed. And then if you can't find one, then you sleep on the ground. And actually, the way that we want this to work is maybe you should curl up. Like, it's hard for him to curl up, because this might be like, because like, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so the way that we want sleep to work is we want guys to like find a bed if they can. If they find the bed, then great, they go to sleep and they're happy. If they can't find a bed, then they like, wow, he looks distressed. If they can't find a bed, then they are going to just go to sleep on the ground. But then when they wake up, they have a debuff, which is like, grumpy or something, or didn't get a good night's sleep. And then that's how we'll sort of encourage you gently to build beds, right? So it's like, oh, these guys like are working slowly because they're all grumpy and mean. So maybe I should build some beds, right? This isn't horrible. I can't change his eyes yet. I mean, those of you who have followed for a while know that we're going to have animation of these eyes, but that's not in the game yet. So he's just going to sleep with his eyes open right now. Okay. And we'll probably have like more than one sleep pose, just so that every time everyone goes to sleep, it doesn't look exactly the same. Right? That's boring, but all good things in time. Alright, so for now he's just going to be like, I'm sleeping. Don't wake me up. Yeah, a teddy bear that decreases the time needed to sleep. Yeah, something like that. Well, I mean, we do actually want, like, decoration in the room to provide buffs that make sense. Some like like if you think about a bedroom, like a reasonable bedroom, it doesn't just have a bed. It probably has whatever, like a chest of drawers and an end table with like a candle on it or something. And we want to encourage you to build like a room like that, and we'll do it by making those objects give you buffs to like the activity, right? So maybe if you have that end table with a candelabra, this makes no sense. We have to come up with something better. But if you have like something in the bedroom that makes sense to be in a bedroom, then it gives a buff to sleep or something like that. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to, right? We won't force you to do this, but min-maxers will, and it's just a good idea. All right, I'm not sure if this is like really fantastic. Let's look at it from a couple of angles, right? So he's kind of like halfway on his side, like maybe. Will it be fun time in bed with two couples? We were actually talking about not like fun time, but like how many people in a bed. And we're just going to keep it simple for now and go like one guy, one bed. Alright, I'm going to save this and try again because I'm not like real excited about this. He's just kind of like from far away. Well, it's not bad. It's not bad. But I kind of want him maybe just to like go flat on his back with his hands down and see how that looks. So let's try that. Let's go back to this one. Auto key. Just try a different idea. Alright, so come in here. Pop him down, flat on his back. This will be like much simpler, but it might read better because it's so much simpler. And that's kind of the most important thing, because these guys are, I mean, they're so compact. Wow, where's my reticle? Oh man. Wow, this is embarrassing. Here, we'll do it this way. There. So he's like flat on the ground and like he's like sawing logs. So his feet are kind of like out, right? Does anyone know the max hotkey to flip between like view coordinates and local coordinates, like this little toggle up here? Because I do that all the time, and I don't know. I've never been able to find the hotkey. Space. It's not space. Control S. Yeah, Control S is something else entirely. But I'm not going to save because I just started a new thingy, and this is not going to crash. I have absolute faith in Max. Right, so like just kind of like super simple, like just like lying flat on your back, like just like just relaxing. Right, and then like I want his head. Like if you fell asleep, like because your head is bigger, it would be like that, right? And so bring his chest up like that, right? So you'd be kind of like that, right? Maybe even a little bit further, something like that. Okay, and then yeah, that's not bad. And then we can even, yeah, I like this better. I mean, the other one was like more interesting, but it was also like way harder to tell what was going on, and it looked weird from some angles. So we're just gonna go with this one, just as like the default sleep, and then I'll stare at it in game for like weeks, and then when I get bored, I'll do another one. When I get bored of this one. Right, so something like that, right? He's just like, no, man of Ret, don't go. Don't go. Actually, if you have to go, you can go. I mean, what are we going to do? I can't stop you. It's not in my power. Alright. So, like, yeah. I mean, I could, like, manipulate his fingers and get them exactly right, but that's no fun for me and no fun for you, so I'll do it later. Alright, so here's, like, our dude. What? Let's see, fit, right. So, just to, like, as a sanity check, we'll look at him from some different angles, right? Yeah. So, like, you can tell he's on the ground, and if his eyes were, like, not open, it might look like he was actually sleeping. It will fix the eyes eventually. Can you show where the pivots for the fingers go? The pivots for the fingers go... Oh, you guys are reverse engineering my shit again. That's fine. I have no problems with that. The pivots for the fingers go on the knuckle edges. Can you see my hand? Yeah. So, like, on the top edges of the knuckles, right? And the reason why that is so that when you bend them, you don't see a seam. Like, see, I could... Here, look at the top, right? So when I bend them, the pivot is, like, right where the knuckle is, the top of the knuckle. If I put them in the middle, then there'd be a break. Like, watch the underside, right? When I pivoted the fingers, you'd see a break like that if I put the seam in the middle. Here, just to be, like, super explicit, in case, so to leave no doubt, like, there, that's where the pivot is, right? And of course, it's the center of the finger. All right, we just caused this guy a lot of unnecessary pain. I hope it was worth it. And then you can see, like, the pivot, like, okay, here, look. You can see the pivot is, like, the center of, like, the very center of the knuckle, which means that if you rotate the finger out like that, yeah, you get a break, but fingers don't rotate out. There's, like, a tiny break here, like, right here, but I'm willing to put up with that, because I don't have much of a choice. And if I ever, like, really animate a finger out that way, right, then I'll just, like, push it, like, back. Like, I'll push it, right? Which is, like, cheating, I guess, but who cares? Because, I mean, I could have, like, you know, like, skin this thing and all that stuff, but that's just overkill for something that is, like, so tiny on the screen, and we're just a little tiny indie game company, right? And I'm a self-taught animator, so whatever. I take shortcuts. Why not put the pivot on the corner? If you put the pivot, well, because the finger can swing one way or the other. And if you put the pivot on the corner, when you swing it the other way, well, I see what you're saying. You're saying that, like, you're saying this finger is probably not going to pivot in that way. But it might, you don't know, right? And this gap is, like, this is about as far as I'd want to pivot a finger. And this gap is, like, so small that you do not see it on the screen. Like, bam, you can't see it anymore, right? So it just doesn't matter. Although, you know, I see why you'd want to put the pivot there. All right, so look, we've got we don't have an animation. We have, like, a pose. So I'm gonna save this as, I'm gonna have to do a swap. So this is now sleep 2. Then I'm gonna open sleep. What? That's not it. That's sleep while standing. Did I nuke my thing? No, okay. Now we're going to change this to save as sleep. Sleeping should go away. So we'll change this to sleep, like, spoon or something. Even it's not quite a spoon, but it's close. Now this sleeping thing is bogus, so that's going to go away. And then we're going to open sleep 2 and save that as sleep. Yes. Now we're going to delete sleep 2. Okay, so now sleep is this one. Great, and we got rid of all of our BS files that we don't need anymore. Yeah, watching. I think you're the only one. Everyone else, no. Everybody else hears high frequency noise in the background. Sorry, I really am. I will buy a real podcast mic before the next stream. I'll do it. But not now. Alright. So we need to animate this guy. So we're going to go back into auto key mode. We're going to take all these keyframes. First we're going to make sure, like, there's a keyframe there, and then we're going to take all these keyframes, frame 0, and pop into frame 100. Now we're just going to do, like, something super simple and make him, like, make his chest sort of expand. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Like, do that. Okay, so this is where, like, my rig is gonna fail me. But I only support forward kinematics right now. Yeah. Which means that when I move a bone, like, everything else moves along with it that was connected to it. Wow, that looks like he's being possessed. What do you think? Is that right? Fun time. His neck. There is no neck. That's the funny part. There's no neck. I don't know. That looks okay. No, he looks like he's being possessed. That's not going to work. Let's try going the other way. Right. Wait, what? What? Oh. There's a key missing. I mean, these guys are like so chunky and iconic that sometimes it's kind of tricky to figure out, like, yeah, we can do it that way. See what happens. That's kind of the same, isn't it? Alright, let's zoom out. Does it look like he's kind of breathing? I think it looks like he's breathing. I mean, I know it's overstated, but you gotta remember that he's gonna be like this big on the screen. So, there it's like, okay, you see like a little bit of motion. He's alive. No cause for panic. Just the head movement? Alright, we'll give that a try. I don't know how that's gonna work, but let's give it a shot. Alright, so which way would his head move? Like, he's kind of like snoring, right? So, I mean, we could do it like that, right? Wow, that's exposing my horrible neck, but nah, that doesn't work. His head should rotate 360 degrees. That doesn't work. That's no good. I kind of liked it the way we had it before. Whoa! Dude! Alright, let's try again. Here, let's do this. Let's just do that. And then do that. Just keep it subtle. Someone tell Frostodo, the voxel modeler. Alright, hold on. When he breathes in, which is like at frame 0, I want his toes to like kind of like go down. So let's take this guy and go like, oh wait, that's not gonna work. Okay, we gotta go to 50, come in here and set a key. Now come in here. Not like a ton, just a little. Alright. Like, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Fiend, there will be Z's. The thing, when he's snoring, there'll be Z's sort of popping up over his head. But the thing is, at least for me, if you have something that's like supposed to be alive and it's ever not moving, it goes dead, right? It breaks the illusion. Like even our idle guys, like as a quick aside, like even when our guys are just standing around, they do this, right? So like, what is that? It's just enough motion for you to go, oh, okay, this guy is like an alive, like, sort of guy with agency in the world. If he ever, and once you, I guess, another way of saying it is once he starts animating, he can never stop. Because if he ever goes completely still, it just breaks the whole illusion. Like one thing that I learned when I was reading up on animation techniques is something called, I think it's like a moving hold or something, which is like if you have a guy who's like doing a motion and he like stops, maybe like he's got his sword is at the ready. Like when I was animating that initially, I would like do the pose and then I'd set a keyframe like half a second later so he can hold that, and then he would swing. And it just looks totally off. It looks unnatural and sort of broken. So what you do in a moving hold is you move like that second set of keyframes like just a tiny bit, so like he goes back and then like, can you see what I'm doing? Well, kind of, but like you go for a pose and then he moves just a tiny bit, and that little, like, you can't even see it really, but I mean your mind's eye can see it, and that tiny bit of motion keeps the character alive. Yeah, okay. So whatever, that was an aside, but it was an interesting aside for me because that's when I started figuring out, oh, there are techniques here that I can learn. And I'm a bad animator because I don't know those techniques, not because I'm a worthless human being. Okay, so this is good. We are done. We are going to export this guy. So to do that, we're going to publish the animation, and there's going to be a file that's generated. Let's go in there, Radiant. Where'd I put this thing? Assets. Export, animations, Civ Sleep. Okay, and now I'm going to put that, I'm going to overwrite my old animation, which is in the one of these mods. So Stonehearth. This is the source tree. Hey Stephanie, where's the human being? Yeah. I can't remember what the mod is. Stonehearth data, Stonehearth, human race. Duh. Okay. So this is like the human race, right? So then we go to the guy, and we go to his we go to his animations, and then we're gonna paste. Okay, and then my name is wrong. It should be, there should be a sleep, right? So nuke that one. Come in here. Call this sleep.json. Yes. Okay, so what this is it's just a JSON file. JSON is our, what? Really? Oh, I called it John. JSON is our data format that we use for everything because it's human readable, easy to parse, fantastic all around. So if we look at this guy, this is nothing new. It's just like a bunch of keyframes, okay? And this is going to get compiled into an animation when the game runs. So let's run the game and see what we've done. With any luck, our narcoleptic guy will like pop down onto the ground. Yeah, there he is. Look at that. Okay, the UI took a while to come in. We got to fix that. Right, and then, okay, oh, he popped up. Hello, citizen. And then, oh, he popped down. Right. So we've made progress. Yeah, he's not dead, I assure you. Alright, so like, we can say like, choppy choppy, and then he's gonna go like, he should have, yeah, right, see. Yeah, Mr. Fiend, you are on the right track. So, I was playing a whole lot of, let's kill this, Rogue Legacy, and they had an awesome idea of like, every little descendant in the game that you play as has like unique traits, like narcolepsy. I don't think they have narcolepsy, but they have like colorblindness or giantism or dwarfism. And that's just a fantastic idea that I really want to just steal and have all of your little guys in the town have traits that wouldn't be as have as big of an impact as they have in Rogue Legacy. The traits there are like a huge deal. But like it would be cool if you had a guy who had like insomnia, right? Or was an early riser, and so he just naturally needs like 6 hours less sleep, right? Or like a guy who like had narcolepsy, right? And then you've got to decide, well, what do I do with this guy, right? He's useless to me, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would be fun, right? And that was a fantastic, brilliant idea that Rogue Legacy had. It would be nice to put that in Stonehearth in a minor way. You know, Rogue Legacy is sort of all about picking the right combination of randomly generated class and trait, and then you can get some awesome combinations. And for us, it would be more of a, I guess, color, or just sort of a fun aside. Cannon fodder? Yeah, right, the narcoleptic guy, you put him on the front line. That's all he's good for. You're too mean. Okay, so now we need an intermediate animation, right? That was stage 2, because we don't want him popping on the ground. Now it looks ironically worse because the pop is even bigger. So we're going to save this as, oh, this is going to be tricky. I have to figure out how to copy poses. Anyone know how to copy poses in Max? Alright. Okay. Well, let's save this as Civ sleep Civ go to sleep? Why not? Civ go to sleep. And now I need to get the idle pose. So let's open Civ idle, or Civ nil, I think I called it. Yeah. No, that's not it. I think I just Civ idle. Blah, 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 blah. Nope, that's the carry idle. Nope, that's the one-handed idle. I'm really messing this up. Civ idle breathe. That's as close as I've got. Okay, so I need to copy this pose. What a bummer. Alright, I think I can do this. So I think I can just rescale this animation to be like, whatever, 10 frames. And then save the animation. Because there are a bunch of keyframes in the first, right? And now, animation. Really? How do you save an animation? No, I'm pretty sure it's from the animation menu. IK solvers, constraints, scale controllers. Oh, yeah, it's right there. Why can't I save the animation? Maybe because I'm in auto key mode? Animation. No. Maybe I have to select? Yeah, thanks, Max. Okay, we're going to save this as idle. Okay, and now we're going to open my go to sleep, and we're going to try loading. Okay, so go to auto key mode, show me the keys. Great. We're going to try loading the animation, see what happens. Load animation. Idle. It worked. It worked. Okay. So now he should like very, very, very slowly go to sleep. No, he didn't do it. Why not? That's not good. Oh, man. But my keyframes... Alright, undo everything. Okay. So I got these. Let's copy these at like frame 40 or something. Alright, and let's try nuking these. I don't know. And now I'm stumbling in the dark. Hoping that I don't have to write an extension to do this. Load animation, idle. No, it overrode everything. Wait, but... Oh, it saved all the keyframes. Alright, 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 I got it. I got it. It saved all the keyframes even though I truncated my animation. It was like, I know there are keyframes beyond the track. So, let's go to auto key. Okay, let's nuke the keyframes this time and save the animation as idle. Overwrite the other one. Okay, now let's try going to my sleep thingy. Don't save. Hi, dude. Okay, now let's try loading the animation. And hopefully it just loads that first keyframe because that's the only keyframe there was, and it did. Alright. Whoops. Oh, but I've lost... Wait. Hold on. What are my keyframes? Wait, did that work? It did. I don't know why. I have no idea why it moved those keyframes there, but I don't care. Okay, let's move them to 40. This shouldn't be too long. Right, so... Yeah! Yeah! Alright, let's move back to over to 100, just to be safe. And now, he slowly falls asleep. Gently. Gently. The rest of you guys are horrible. Okay. Alright, so now we have to figure out how he's going to go down. And this is going to be fun. So if you were gonna fall asleep, you'd like probably lean back and like go down to one knee. That's not fun though. I'm just gonna have them plop back and then like nod off. So I'm not sure what the timing is, but let's do this. Let's take this guy, that guy, and that guy, and copy those frames from there to there. Like, I want him to have attitude, so I want him to like kind of pop back. Right, so there he is. Right, so he's gonna like sort of, he's just gonna like kick it. Right, so he's gonna like pop up. Right, and he's gonna like throw his feet out in front of him. Right, almost like a toddler. Right, where they just kind of throw themselves on the ground and start playing or whatever. You know, kind of like that. It's just like, it is time to sleep, and then he goes boom. Right, so let's take this one out here, take this one out here. Right, so well, yeah, and then like he'll like hit the ground, like say on, I don't know, frame 75. These are totally placeholder. Right, so let's say he hit the ground there, so come in here like that, and then I'm not gonna get too specific with animating each part yet until I get like the rough timing down. So now he's like, his hands are like this, that way. Yeah, his hand would turn that way. And he's like, okay, forward kinematics, forward kinematics. I keep saying to myself that I need to implement inverse kinematics in my rig, but I never get around to it, and it always seems to be okay. So I just never do it. Because unfortunately I'm not a dedicated animator. I mean, I would love to just animate all day and model and animate, but I also have to code and get office space and do all that other stuff. So, okay, let's just like, I can actually delete the main, not delete, I could delete, but I could hide the main hand and offhand bones. They're not helping me, but it's fine. Okay, is that like kind of getting there? And like, his head would be like, whoa, like that. And then, let's copy, whoops, the frame from there to there. Okay, so he's like, wah, boom, kind of. Alright, let's do this. I don't want it to look like he got hit. He has to like launch himself, which means like probably at like frame 10. I just like picking even numbers because I don't know like what's right. So so I pick even numbers so it's easy to find these frames, and then I'll move them to their correct position soon, right? But he needs to like, if he's gonna jump, he needs to have a down, right? So he's gathering his energy, right? So he's like, whoops, oh man, forward kinematics. Okay, I can do it this way. Right, so he's like going down, and he's like kind of right, doing that, right? And maybe he's like, he nods his head a little. He's kind of right, gathering his energy, and then he'll go launch himself up, which means that around here he does have to lift off, right? So we'll do kind of like that, right? So he's like, whoa. Okay, and this is where I need, guess what? A moving hold, if I'm not screwing up that terminology. Hey, what's going on at this frame? Who's got a keyframe there? Huh. My Twitches, or my chat, Skype chat is going off. Okay, so it needs to like go down and then pause, right? So that's a moving hold. So we'll come in here and it'll pause for like 5 frames, let's say. Did I get that right? Yeah. So, wait, what happened? something happened. This should be the same. Alright, we'll come in here, set a key, copy frames from here to here. Right. Okay, so now, yeah, check this out. So I'm going to go like half speed or something. So he should go down and then, right? But when he freezes, like it's like, what? It just looks wrong. Let's go at full speed. Okay, so we know that this is way too slow. So let's speed it up. So that's the down, and then he's going up. This is probably gonna have to be like that. Let's just like speed this way up. I don't know. I'm guessing, but I'm just picking every 5th frame. Right. So like, okay, that's not bad. Well, it is bad, but it's like closer. Down, up, boom. Okay, so he's just gonna go down. Let's move these here. Hold on, this foot is out of control. Yeah, that's just wrong. And this foot doesn't have a key. Yeah, that's wrong too. Alright. Alright. Pillows. He's gonna fall asleep like a boss. He is, man. I mean, these little guys should do like everything like a boss. I mean, that's the fun of it, is that they are like, they don't mess around. What's the deal? What did I do? Oh, this guy should not move yet. He needs to stay like there. No, they're still moving. Why are they moving? Is it because I need to... Okay, so that key can go away. Here, let's go to this view. Alright, so... Yeah. Okay, so you go down, then you pop up, then you come down. Okay, so that key is useless. The apex is at 30, right? And then you go down, and then you go down again. And that key is probably useless too. We don't need it yet. Oops, apex is at 30. Okay, so he's going to go... Okay, so he's going to go gather himself, and he should actually bend at the waist too. So he's going to gather himself at 10, right? So let's do this. Bend at the waist a little bit. And actually, let's see, if you're up, and you're going to like bend, yeah, okay. So yeah, your arms would go back. So his arms go back, okay. His arms go back. See, right, I've got a bunch of like keyframes that I don't need. Oh no, I do need them, because I was doing a moving hold. Okay, so he goes down, and then, yeah, so he goes down. And I'm actually gonna like come in here on his shoulders and his arms and nuke this keyframe. So from 5 to 10 is kind of like his pause, right? His hold. He's like going down, and then he gathers himself, and then he pops up. And see, yeah, I want his arms to continue to go back, and then he needs to like lift off. So that's where this is coming in. So like, I think just a tiny bit, we'll get off the 5 frame thing for now. I think that serves its purpose, right? So now let's see. He goes down, and the same thing with the head. Like this is where like this whole, right? So nuke that, so he's not like frozen, right? So now he's gonna like be a little more natural, right? He's gonna go down, and then, all right. Okay, so these guys need to keep their feet sort of extended for much longer. So down, down, up. Is that gonna work? Kind of. I'm not happy with that, but whatever. Let's see. Okay, great. Okay, now let's think about it a little bit more. So in the air, it's like, whoa, and then, yeah, right. And then there's going to have to be like some kind of pause where he braces himself and then slowly goes down to the ground. That's not bad. What are you guys talking about with the pillows? I don't get it. Metal of pillow? His torso needs to come up when he pushes off. It is a crouching jump. It's exactly a crouching jump, Zen. See, look. He crouches. Right? He's crouching. He's crouching. And then he, like, jumps. But, like, probably, like, here. Let's see. So let's look at the torso. So the torso's here. Then, like, here, he kind of needs to, like, arch a little bit. Like, reach for it. And his shoulders need to come forward. Because, like, he's pushing off, right? So, like that. And then we'll bring these forward a little bit. Right? So he goes down. Yeah, alright. Let's see. He goes down. And then he needs to, like, these guys need a little bit of pause. He goes down and then up. Right. Up. And I think his arms need to... What did I do at frame 30? I said 30 was the zenith. I think that his arms need to come forward until the zenith. Right, so he'll come up. That's not nearly enough. So like this guy needs to come forward. This guy needs to come forward. Right. So he's like down, up. Wow, that's not good. Get over there. This is not the way you would animate like a proper character, and I know it. Like you wouldn't be moving around the parts, the body parts relative to each other. But this guy anatomically is impossible, like very impossible. So I'm breaking kind of the traditional rules, if they are traditional rules. I don't know. How would I know? Yeah, because like the chop animation is hilarious if you look at it frame by frame, because his arms are like stretching all over the place. But it's kind of what you have to do to get like this guy's anatomy to look right on screen, and that's what matters, right? Is that it looks right on screen. Okay, so then he's gonna swing forward, right? Okay, and then like here. Okay, so this keyframe is not useful. Okay, and here is where I want his hands to like come in and be like flat, actually. So let's flatten. Whoops, wrong axis. Let's flatten this out. Right, kind of like that. Oh wow, I was actually animating both of them. Whoops, whoops. That's okay, it's easily fixed. Okay, let's go to the top. Oh wow, that's not what I expected at all. Wow, this is like impossible. Yeah, I know his arms are like broken. Don't worry, we'll get there. Right, maybe like that. Okay, and actually his shoulders at this point should be back. This one's back a little bit. This one is not back. So, forward kinematics. Forward kinematics. Mer pillow hands. That's not funny. Don't make fun of Mer. Alright, I'm obsessing on this frame way too much. Let's see what we got. So, oh man, I hate it when I do this. Like, I'm off by one on one of these. Alright, so he's gonna come down, he's gonna pop up. That's cool. His feet swing forward way too quickly, but I'm not gonna worry about that yet. So then he's gonna pop here. Okay, I need way more frames, but that's okay. So he's gonna pop in here and like support himself. Right. Actually, maybe not. Maybe he shouldn't support himself. Maybe he should just like pop down. Let's try that. I might be trying to make this thing too complicated. Boom. Whoops. So he's gonna go boom, wah. At the apex, he's bringing things forward. Let's bring his arms out a little bit because he's sort of swinging them forward and exercising his power. And then he's like, hey, I'm gonna fall back, right? So here, and then he's like, there. That's not horrible. It's not horrible, but it needs more work. I'm not saying I'm satisfied. I'm saying it's not horrible. So let's take it to 60 and see how it works. 60 total frames, and let's just loop it and see where we're at. What do we know? We know it's way too slow. Okay, I actually like the first part, but like, okay, the rest of it's way too slow. Alright, so he's gonna hop down, he's gonna walk. So I think it's like, well, it's way too slow. Let's nuke that. We said our apex was 30. Let's nuke all this intermediate stuff. I think I trapped myself by worrying about too much detail too soon. And then what's happening at 40? Let's nuke all the intermediate frames. And then end it at 40? No. How many? What's 10, 20, so 30. Parabolic motion, right? Okay. Yeah, man. Let's see that. I like the timing, but it doesn't have nearly enough pop. So we're going to like give him more pop, right? Alright, now I know what's wrong with this. Like his jump isn't parabolic motion, so I need to change the tweening between keyframes. So I'm going to use a new graph editor if I can find that. New track view, I think. Is that it? Please tell me that's it. I don't think that's it. Really? Whoa, 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 everything's going crazy. Everything's going crazy. XSplit. I hate you. It's not a new schematic view. That's like, yeah, that's that. I think it's a new curve editor. Right. Okay, so this is showing the tweening of all the frames for this guy. And if we look at, like, for the selected piece, which is the bone that controls his path through the air. And I'm looking for something that's like, I'm looking for a Z position, right? And there it is. Okay, so like if you look at this thing, like when he jumps, he should, like, his velocity should be highest right when he leaves the ground, and then, you know, it's like a parabola. Where are we at? Like, oh man, I can't do this. Like a parabola. So right now it's the opposite, right? It starts off low and then it increases and then it attenuates off. So I just need to change the length, this curve, which means I need to break this so that it's not smooth. Is there a way to zoom in on this? Nope, that's zooming the wrong way, but it's, I don't know, whatever. So I just need to, like, do this, right? So that, and do it on the other end as well. Break the Bezier, right? So now, like, his motion will be more like a natural parabola. Okay, let's get rid of that thing. Let's see if that did anything at all. Yeah, that's better. I mean, it's super exaggerated, but that's okay. I don't mind that it's super exaggerated. Actually, it's maybe a little too exaggerated. It's like really exaggerated. I like having things exaggerated because, I mean, then you can kind of, it's fun. It's cartoony, and I like the way that looks, but it's just too much right now. So let's make it a little better. All right, try it now. Yeah. Okay. And in that same vein, like, let's exaggerate his sort of wind up. So let's really make him wind up. And remember, these guys are like tiny on your screen. So you want to be able to sort of see what they're doing. So it's okay to, like, I hope, we're going to find out, to like exaggerate their motions. Like, if you look at the run animation, maybe I'll show you later if I can remember, like, he bounds way in the air when he runs, but when you see it on screen, it's like, it doesn't look that big of a deal. Okay, and then bring him forward here, bring this really forward. Oops. Right. And then we should do something with his fingers, but we'll figure that out later. So he's gathering himself. So he's like, okay. So this is where I need a moving hold. So here's down, and I want him to, like, okay. So we're gonna take everybody. What happens here? What happens if I delete this? Not a lot. Okay. So I don't think I needed that keyframe. Okay. So let's give him, I don't know. Doesn't have to be that long, probably. Let's make it 4 frames. That's probably too many, but let's just give it a shot. Right, so when I put in that hold, he's going to, like, whoa, what did I do? Are you animating between those? You are. How do I stop that? I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to stop that, and I just tend to hack it and, like, go, like, I'm sure I could probably fix it in the curve editor. Oh, man. Wait, what's moving? Oh, that was the pelvis, wrong bone. I need that guy. I could probably fix it in the curve editor, but this way I know. Okay, so now you get that sort of dramatic pause. Oh, did you still move? Did you? I don't know, I can't tell. Let's go. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, but it looks like, it looks weird, because he, like, freezes and nobody ever freezes. So to fix that, it might be as easy as, is that going to do it? No, that's not going to do it. So let's just do it like the textbook way, which is to come in here and take every piece that's animating, and just animate it like a tiny bit more. Just accentuate the motion just a little bit. Right? Can you see that? I don't know. Maybe, like, if you're a genius, you can see it. Right. I think those are all right. So now, like, I don't know. Let's see. I feel like it should be longer, but whatever. Let's just leave it like that way for a little bit, because I need to fix the biggest problem. The biggest problem are his feet, which, when he lifts off, boom, 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 need to actually lift him off the ground. So let's go back and see. Right, okay. And then they need to stay that way for a little while. Whoosh. And even, like, go a little further. So he's like, yeah. And then he can flip him out. And he doesn't have to flip him out that quickly. He can, like, right. Boom. When he hits the ground, you should make the middle of his back arch like a U. Yes, that is exactly right. And I'm going to do one better than that. He's going to bounce 2 times. No, sorry. He's going to bounce. So I'm going to take these frames, and I'm going to go like that. And then I'm going to come in here. Really? Did you do it for me? See, that disturbs me. I don't like that. Tony asks why I didn't go to a knee and then lie down. Because that's boring. And this is exciting. He doesn't seem satisfied with that answer, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, okay, so here we go. right? So this is where I can fix things. So I can break this and then bring them on in. This is the way I should have done the other one, but here we can just do that. And then I can come in here and break the tangent and then say no, this is flat. Okay, so now he shouldn't move in between these, but he does because I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, that's super cool. So we want to make him bounce, right? So let's try now. Did I fix it? I don't know. Looks fixed to me. Boom, boom. Right. Okay. And then the idea is when he hits the bed, so he should like sink into the bed, right? Kind of. Well, we don't know if it's a bed or not. But up here, okay, what have I got on here? I've got keyframes, great. Wait, do I? Yes, I do. Okay, so here, let's arch him up this way, and then arch this one down this way. Right, that might be way too much. No, it's not. Alright, but I think my bounce needs to be bigger. It needs a bigger bounce. Alright, let's try that. Yeah, it's not nearly big enough. Maybe. Yeah, that's not horrible. Okay, where do the creepers come from? There will be major clipping if this animation is used for a bed unless he jumps higher backwards. Yeah, that's right, Steve. That is correct. We'll probably have another animation for sleeping on a bed, which is going to be this one, tweaked. Not so much. It's not going to need much tweaking at all. It's just moving some major pivots, and you know, maybe we'll have, like, in the end we'll probably have 2, 3, 4 different ones, and we'll just pick a random one. Alright, this is like, I like the bounce too. Alright, so there's one thing. When he like reaches up and hits the apex, he should like, I mean, he's like expelling all of his energy, right? So that's gonna like pop his head up, right? And then as he comes down, it should probably like come in like that, because he's gonna naturally want to keep his head up, and then it'll like, right. And then on the bounce, let's bring this up even more a little bit. Bring this down a little bit. Alright, not bad. I have a feeling this is going to be better suited to a bed than the ground, which is what we're doing now. Because it kind of makes sense that you're like, wow, long day at work, and then you just throw yourself on the bed and go right to sleep. You probably wouldn't do that on the ground. Alright, so you're probably not going to throw yourself on the ground, but this is what we've got, and we're going to work with it. I'll think about other animations. Okay, so great. So what have we got? We've got an animation. It is called Save Go to Sleep. We're going to export that. Publish animation. And now we're going to grab it, copy it, come in here into our animations directory for humans, paste it, rename it because my script name is based on the old convention. Okay, now we got this new animation called Go to Sleep. Okay, and that means that I can come in here and in human. No, okay, so now I need to make a new effect. Where are our effects? Is this it? No, that's the wrong one. Let's go in here. Animations. Mail. Effects. Great. Okay, so an effect is, well, it's anything kind of interesting that happens on the screen or in the game. Like playing a sound is an effect, playing an animation is an effect, and you can see we have effects for all of our animations right now. I need a new effect to go to sleep, to play the go to sleep animation. So we'll call this go to sleep, and then we'll open that up in Sublime, and then this is pretty simple, right? So and an effect can have lots of tracks. So a track could be play this sound at this time. Once we have particle effects, add this particle system. Play this animation, right? And this effect only has one track, which is play the go to sleep, right? You can imagine if we wanted to play a sound every time someone went to sleep, there would be another track, which is a soundtrack, and it would specify the sound file to play and when to play it. We should bet on how long it takes someone to make. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that. Let's see. Okay, so now I have a go to sleep effect. Now I need, so we got this sleep action. Is that it? Yeah. Right, so see here in the sleep action, like we execute, when it's time to go to sleep, we execute the Stonehearth.activities.run effect. So running an effect, I was just talking about effects, we run the sleep effect, which plays the sleep animation. Now, what we want to do instead of just like running the sleep animation, we want to, oh, here, look, I have it. I called it lie down before. We want to run the effect go to sleep. Okay, and Tony assures me that these will run synchronously, so we will run the go to sleep effect, and then we will run the sleep effect, and we're about to see how that pans out. Okay, there's what? No. Okay, so there's one problem, which is like this effect should not loop, whereas the sleep one should. When you breathe in and out when you're sleeping, you should do it again. So this is not going to loop. Okay, so if this works, this effect's going to play. It's going to play our animation, and then remember, this is running the sleep action. We'll play this animation once, and then we'll play this animation, and it'll loop over and over and over again, which means it'll just breathe in and out, lying on the ground, until this action is preceded by another action, which has a higher priority, which will happen because in the next hour, this function will get called because it's listening on this event, which is raised by the calendar mod, and sleepiness, which was 100, will be set to 0. It'll drop its priority down to 0, and something else will take over, even if it's just like idling, so it'll pop up. Okay. I'm kind of afraid to try this, but let's give it a shot. So now, what did I do? Invalid URI. Okay, so I have a bad file name. That's the wrong directory. So it can't find go to sleep. Did I not name it go to sleep? Here's the what's it complaining about? It's complaining about the mail animation. So mail animations. Oh yeah, I screwed it up. Go to sleep.json, not go to sleep.txt. I should fix my exporter. Okay. So Dakota saved our butt. Congratulations, Dakota. Gold star. Alright, so here we go. So here's our narcoleptic dude. He's going to pop up. We can maybe fix that later. I've got to think about it. Now when he goes to sleep, he should like... Come on, man. You can do it. Yeah, there he goes. Right? And now he's sleeping. And now he's playing the breathing. He's breathing, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a new clock. Check out the archive. Right, so go to sleep. So yeah, so now that I see it in game, I mean a couple of things, like the animation is still too slow, right? It's not snappy, and I've got some frames trailing at the end. It looks like he got shot dead. Yeah. I think you're probably right. I think I'm gonna need to revisit the animation. I mean, just like I revisited the clock yesterday. I mean, I'll probably revisit this animation. It's probably not the right animation. He does look like he got shot dead. Thanks. Just kidding. Okay. Sweet. All right, you can see like it works. We've got like some alpha blending problems around the sun here that we have to fix. We have to fix his transition between sleeping and not sleeping. We need to put like Z's sort of coming out of his head when he's asleep. We need to be able to animate the face. So lots that needs to be done, but we are making progress, and I'm going to continue to make progress on this day after day. And of course, big things like we need to be able to change the skybox as it goes from day to night. But yeah, we are doing okay. And for those of you who didn't see the clock at the start, like here's the updated clock. This is like 50% done. This is just running in the browser. It still needs like the sky here needs to get more interesting. Like I like the night version, but the day version should have like clouds. These clouds should move, and it needs like the phases of the moon should work. Right now it doesn't work. They don't work, and we need some kind of like this, description of like the day and the month. So like January 5th, although it won't be January, it'll be something else. Okay. So, I'm going to keep plugging away at this, and we'll see where I am in a week. Hopefully quite a bit further. I mean, this is kind of cool now because I can work like literally end to end. I can make art, either UI art or animations and stuff, and put it in the game, and then manipulate the code to change the way it works, which is cool and very exciting. So with that, I'm going to end this live stream, and I'll try to do one in like 2 weeks, and we'll see where we are from there. No, don't go. I have to go. Zendrake, aren't you the guy who told me that my animation was totally dead, or totally wrong, the wrong animation? He's in a never-ending loop of death. Yeah, you are. I mean, you are right, but I promised to run animation. I did. All right, let's open the run animation. Save this. Open. Where's run? I know it's right here somewhere. Run. Okay. So like, look at this guy in this view, right? And like, oh, I guess it's not as extreme as I thought. So like, when he's up, he's like, he's not that far up. Never mind. I lied. He's kind of far up. Like he's up here, right? So let's like go back. How do I go back? Right. So like when he's down, he's like down here. Yeah, I mean he's jumping like a good 2 feet, foot, whatever. It's not that bad. Could you make the stream sooner? Sorry, incredible. What? Incredible MRP. I can't because I just want to keep them at 4 every single day. Keep the time consistent, and this is a good time for me because I can like, it's just a good convenient time. I can chug away in the morning, have lunch, chug away some more, and then end the day with a live stream. But you can always watch the archives, so you can pretend that all the streams are a day later at whatever time you want, right? Oh, there are discourse questions. Let me find a way to get to those. I will answer like 2 or 3 questions from discourse, and then I'm out of here. I'll go like cry some tears about my animation that needs to change, and then I'll think about the right way to do it. And then in 2 weeks, you guys will see the new one. New live stream. Nope. Animation in AO arc. Okay. What is the stream going to be focused on? Not answering that one. Question. Have you thought about roads until now? No. We have not thought about roads. Roads are a good idea. We haven't thought about them. Like right now we're focused on crafting, better building, and world generation. Those are the things that we're thinking about right now. And it doesn't make sense for us to think too deeply about other things because the answers to crafting, building, and world generation may change what we think about roads. So we're isolating our thinking on the most immediate problems, we solve those problems, and then we move on. What development environment are you using? Well, you've just seen it. For scripting Lua and JS, I use Sublime for Lua. This is Sublime. I use it for Lua and HTML and JavaScript and CSS. Like, Sublime is just really freaking good. And then to debug Lua, this is Dakota. It's a version of Dakota that we've modified to suit Stonehearth, fixed a few bugs and stuff like that. And to debug C++ and write C++, Tony, who writes almost all the C++ code, uses Visual Studio, right? So the funny thing is, like, it's possible to run Stonehearth and connect 3 different debuggers to it. Visual Studio to debug the C++, Dakota to debug the Lua, and DevTools. Oh, I forgot about DevTools. DevTools to debug the game itself, right? So this is DevTools. So you can set breakpoints or DevTools is the debugger in Chrome, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. You've got like one game and 3 debuggers all attached to it at different spots. Okay, a couple more questions. That's it, I think. Yeah, that's it. I'll answer 2 questions from chat, and then I gotta go. Questions from Discourse. Will there be... Oh, okay. Nighttime specific events? Yes. Stronger mobs, spooky ghosts, that sort of thing? Yes. Yes. In fact, yeah. We have one in mind for beta. Definitely. So yes. How will exploration work if we never leave our town? You won't never leave your town. Sometimes you'll leave your town. But remember, it's... so I guess I have 2 answers. It is a town building game, but occasionally you'll send out like some guys to like go find something or explore. You can do that. But it's not the focus of the game. And then the other thing is, like, as your town gets bigger, you're naturally going to explore more of the landscape, right? I mean, your town starts off as like nothing, right? And then it can grow to be like city blocks and city blocks. So you're going to be exploring a little bit of the map. And you can send out, like, you'll eventually need to send out like little parties to like scout for resources or something, right? Now, are you going to be scouting like hundreds of miles away? Probably not. So the game is kind of, you'll see like the map and you'll pick your embarkation location, and then, you know, you're not going to be exploring like the whole rest of the map. But, you know, it's not like the camera will never move off of your town either. Will the tunes automatically sleep? Yeah, they will. So they'll automatically do everything, in fact. With a very few exceptions, the idea is that you are like the grand orchestrator who determines what gets built and how things should be done. But then your guys go off and do it, always on their own. And they also have their own sort of needs and agendas. So they're going to eat by themselves, they're going to sleep by themselves. When they get tired, they'll sit down and rest. And part of the game is managing that, right? So we don't want you to have to micro your guys. So you should never click on a guy and say, you go eat, or you go stand over here, or you go chop down that tree. Instead, you state what should be done, and your citizens collectively figure out the best way to do it. One more question. Not that question. Mom, Dad. How many classes are there so far? To be perfectly honest, 2. Worker and Carpenter. Now that's kind of a deceptive answer because, well, I guess I could say 3, and Footman. Most of the work in, definitely the majority, maybe most, but there's a ton of work in unlocking a new kind of class, like a crafter, okay, and we've been working hard on that, and we're probably like 70% done with the crafting system. Now, once we have the ability to have a crafter, which is like a guy who has a list of recipes, and each recipe has instructions on how to build an item, and the UI for that, and the guy knows how to, when you say build the item corresponding to this recipe. He knows how to gather the ingredients from all over the world and bring them back to his workbench and beat on it for a little while, and out pops the item. Like, that's a ton of work. Once you do that, like, the difference between a carpenter and like a mason or a blacksmith is really just the set of recipes and the ingredients and some cosmetic stuff. So even though we have like 3 classes in the game now, once the crafting system is finished, adding like every other crafter is like a small amount comparatively of incremental work. So the number is going to be like low for a while, and then it should explode pretty quickly. Beta on Steam in December. Beta in December. We haven't had a chance, to be perfectly honest, to take a good look at the Steam APIs. So maybe Steam support will come a little bit later. But beta definitely in December. Okay, one more question, then I really gotta go. A good one. Meaning one that I haven't answered in a previous stream. No VoIP. No voice over IP. I'm not going to count that as a question. Froggy, my living room's bigger. That's a really crowded, but not much bigger. Not much bigger, but it's a little bigger. I've clicked Froggy's link. That's really cool, Froggy. Thanks. That was really nice of you. Except hold on. Let's show the world. So Froggy made this. Thanks, Froggy. Let's see if I can get it sized correctly. I got a lot of windows that I'm juggling. Sorry. And Froggy. Yeah. And this is like not bad, except for the frog on the wall. Stephanie's goofing off playing Tetris. Yeah, that's pretty neat. My living room is a little bit bigger than this, but not much bigger. And it's not carpeted. It's got like hardwood floor. If you want to take a look at the floor, no, I'm not going to do it because my webcam is. It's like a cherry hardwood floor. So, but you got the towers right. You got a lot of stuff right. You got the webcams, those monitors you reverse engineered from our profile, and the desks. Yeah, that's pretty neat. And then like my only critique, Froggy. This is awesome, by the way, so this is tongue-in-cheek, okay? Is that these are not voxely. Come on, man. Get with the program. Stuff on the whiteboard needs to be voxely. Like, what is this? This whiteboard exists in some alternate dimension where things are not voxels. It's hilarious that Stephanie's playing Tetris because it's blocky, right? Corrupts question is good. Someone repeat the corrupts question, then I'll get out of here. Or corrupts question. That's not corrupt's question. Can you choose? What's your question, corrupt? Only corrupt. Say your question again, and I'll answer it, and then it's time to go. Question: will there be a system where different workers will have to make different things to contribute towards something? I think you mean craftsmen, not workers. Workers are kind of like they don't craft anything. But yes, yes. An example. I'll give you a very simple example. To make a bow, you need like twine, and you need like the wooden shaft of the bow. And the only way to get twine is to have a weaver spin it, right? So you need to make a bow, you need a weaver and a carpenter. The carpenter to make the bow, and the weaver to make the twine for the bow. Now we could go like absolutely nuts and say there's a bowyer, I think that's how you pronounce it, who needs wood from the carpenter and cord from the weaver. But then you just have too many like classes. Like we don't want like we want each class or each crafter to be able to craft many things rather than have lots and lots of crafters who can only craft a small number of things. So like the bowyer craftsman is just too darn specific. So we're rolling him into a carpenter. But yes, that's a simple example, and there'll be like lots of other examples where. Like weaponsmiths and stuff like that. We want there to be interdependencies between the craftspeople because it's just more interesting that way. And it mirrors reality. in a good way. Okay, that's it. Yay, I'm happy to have done our first live stream since getting back from Evo. And I will try to continue to do them every 2 weeks or so. And we'll start off the next live stream with an update on where time and day-night is. And hopefully it'll be much further along. And then we'll see what else there is. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.